Here you go, Brad. Oh, you got one.
Got it. We're good. Okay. Okay, all right. Hey, let's just stretch this thing out for a minute. We've been sitting for a little bit. I'm super happy to be here, but let's just give one stretch that way, one the next. Come on, we can do this thing. Okay. So, good morning. I'm super happy to be here with each of you and to be talking about something that is important, and that is really the future of Silicon Slopes. And what we're doing, and I do want to ask the production team if we can get the note slides just there up front would be fantastic. And there's a management philosophy you guys might have heard about from Patrick Lencioni. And the leadership principle is that of a first team. Team one. Whereas you think about the way our businesses are organized, we have all these functional departments. We've got product management and engineering and sales. And the idea behind this is that the first team actually becomes a set of your peers. Rather than having your first priority be the team that you're managing, it is that you come together into a team one. And you have interdependence between this team. And the idea is that by doing this, you unlock goodness across the organization. And at Bamboo, we use that and we talk about, like, can you take your functional hat off and put your team one hat on? And what I want to invite each of us to do for the next couple minutes is taking off your company hats. Yes, all of you with your flat-brimmed hats on, take them off and say, we're going to put on our Silicon Slopes hat and be focused on what we're doing in the community, how we come together, and how we elevate our purpose together to be on a single team. So as we think about what does this look like in the Silicon Slopes Team 1, you think about what we've created. We've created jobs. We've created businesses that have been able to come together and continue to build and provide opportunities for many of the graduates coming out from our great universities. It's there, but then the question really becomes, how do we elevate from the focus on our individual organizations to something bigger? What is our purpose around that? And you start to think about the purpose and really what's there is everything that we've done up to this point, we are standing on the shoulders of those who have come before. And, a lot of people don't know, just maybe a quick history lesson for those our younger colleagues in the house. The University of Utah was one of the first 4 nodes of ARPANET, which means the internet literally started here. And sometimes we can think that we created this and all the things that came before just were background noise to all the amazing things I'm doing right now. But you step back and think about ARPANET, the internet starting here. You think about WordPerfect, Novell, the fact that the co-founder of Adobe grew up at Olympus High School 10 miles from here. We are standing on the shoulders of those who have come before. And as you think about what does that mean and the great companies that are here, Ben Peterson and Ryan Sanders, the founder of Bamboo HR, talk a lot about the principles that they use in building Bamboo and what Bamboo was becoming and how it was built were built on the experiences that they had at other companies here in Silicon Slopes. And none of us are doing this alone. And so the question becomes, as you start to build on this foundation, how do we do that? What are the things that happen that we need to happen and build from next? So as we think about how we move forward and what that purpose really starts to become, for us, you think about the graduates that are coming out. And I remember 10 years ago, there was I was talking to a group of computer science students, and they were talking about their internships and where they were going and how that was going to look and become. And one of the students was like, yeah, Brad, I'm going to do an internship at Google this next summer. And I asked him, I'm like, you literally drove by 15 companies on Silicon Slopes to go to the airport in order to go interview. Why? Well, I wanted to work on interesting things. I think 10 years on, we have interesting things to do right here in the state. to hold on to those most talented young minds to go do it. But I think it requires us to think differently around this purpose of what is our purpose, not our individual purpose in companies, but truly here in the state, what's our purpose for the industry? What's our purpose for our companies collectively? And I think that where we are, it is an opportunity for us to raise our gaze, to change industries, to build people and our businesses. Yes, you can build both of those together. It really is incredible that we have, that we're standing really on the shoulders of those who have come before. Here's a couple pictures. I look exactly like this now. These are a couple pictures from early in my career. I have been fortunate to have some great mentors and people who helped me as I was, opening the door to my career to get started. And have you ever had a role or a job that you think about and you're like, I absolutely have no idea what I'm doing? Anybody? I have. I still do. Ooh. But I think about like the mentors there. There was an experience that I had as I was making a career transition from investment banking into a business operations role. I was at Omniture at the time, and with Josh James and the amazing people who were at Omniture in those early days. And we looked around and we said, actually, none of us know exactly how to do business operations. And so we called up the one person who we thought could help us do that. And that was a gentleman by the name of Fraser Bullock. Fraser had just a few years earlier ran all the operations for the Olympics. And I remember sitting in his office and learning from Fraser how he set up all the operations for the Olympics, how decisions were made, how they stayed aligned on goals. He gave me a running start when I desperately needed it. And I think about that from a community standpoint, that magic that comes by taking care of the people around you, by helping. And I think that that's an opportunity for all of us to think about, how do we truly become team one here in Silicon Slopes? When you get that reach out on LinkedIn, or you get that email or an introduction, what is your next step? How do you show up and engage? Because it's not about what we're going to take from the community and from our careers and what's happening. It is about what comes next and how we continue to mentor. I love this quote by Herman Melville. We cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow men. These 1,000 fibers, think about your life, your career, and those 1,000 fibers that start to connect there, because things are different here. Our culture is different here. And we need to manifest that in how we rethink the workplace here in Silicon Slopes to enable collaboration, the innovation to unlock what that future really starts to become. So I'm asking you this question and the community this question today is, what does the reimagined workplace in Silicon Slopes look like? What do your companies look like in the future? As an employee, what do you want your company to look like? And we'd love to have this conversation for us to say, how do we continue to build something here that's unique and special? Not just for us, but for those that are going to move to the state. Whether you've been working in the state 60 years or 6 months, or you're going to enter the workforce in another 6 years. How do we build so that the current generation, the next generation after that is talking about this time, to say that people took care to build something so that we can continue to thrive as a community and as a state. And what we are thinking about and doing is, what does that reimagined workplace looks like? And we want to create an artifact here this week. And we want to invite you to participate in this so that we can capture the collective consciousness of things that are happening around in your businesses in your state. And the artifact is going to be out here right outside the main entrance. We have this amazing muralist. There are some cards there at the booth. You can fill those out with, what are the words? How do you describe a reimagined workplace here at Silicon Slopes? Okay? So as you think about that, think about the mentors, think about those friends that you have, think about the people who've sacrificed to get you here. How do we continue to unlock those sacrifices so that we can lift up the people who are moving to the state, the people who are graduating from university this year and in 10 years? And I want to create that artifact. If you're too lazy to go up and get the card, just tweet or anywhere on social media, use this hashtag. Our murals will pick that up because we want to be able to look at that and to say, okay, here's how we're thinking as a community around that. Because by joining the conversation, I think that we start to create and build and execute on that future. But building that future is hard. But I do believe that the future is ours. And I invite you to join in to go build that together as a community. Thank you very much.